Still trying to throw the ball on first and goal, second and goal, panicking at third, fourth I'm wishing for a muff.
Welcome to the 510 Huddle. We back again. Week 3 recap. How you feeling, D-Lane?
Feeling great, man. It's week 3 recap. Let's talk some ball, baby.
Let's dive right into it. Last night we had Monday Night Football with Chiefs Ravens. Definitely one-sided game. Let me ask you this, D-Lane. Going forward, do you look at the Ravens as a real playoff contender towards the Chiefs?
They got room to grow. It's early in the season. Everybody's still trying to work out. Excuse me. Everybody's still trying to work out. Those. Usually you have those preseason games, OTAs. They still getting those reps in, especially on offense and defense. So it's still early in the season for them to get it right. But at the end of the day, I think as far as getting right, I think it's on Lamar. We seen it last night. Looked like his 2 playoff games, the 2 home playoff games that wasn't really a good performance. That's what last night looked like. Let me see. He went 15 of 28 for 97 passing yards. That's horrible. Come on, Lamar. You gotta do better than that, baby. He was a threat. He was definitely a threat with his legs, but he's always a threat with his legs. That's nothing different. That's nothing new or different. I feel like Spagnolia, the DC for the Chiefs, he was sending the house, made him a bit shaky. I just felt like his accuracy was off a little bit the whole night. I think Andrews and Brown did not help Lamar. They both had 2 big drops in the game. But I think it's still room for them to grow. But when I say can they be a contender versus the Chiefs, it's just all on Lamar, and it's the same thing we said coming into the season. Can he take that next step? And last night it didn't look like it.
Yeah, I think Lamar is who he is. I think you have to look at him. I'm rooting for him. He's an amazing player to watch. He's exciting. He runs around. He makes throws. He's not a consistent thrower of the football. And he doesn't have a superb arm. He's not an A+ arm. Josh Allen.
What I peeped about them? They're not really a team that's built to come from behind. They can't.
No,
they're usually used to leads.
To me, this is on, like I said, Lamar Jackson. You look at Josh Allen, he has a strong arm, not the most accurate guy. Now, this year, he's actually one of the most accurate quarterbacks. He took in a step. And I'm comparing, Josh Allen to Lamar. Josh Allen every year has taken a step as a thrower. Lamar hasn't. And it's clear. To get the game not even look competitive to the Chiefs, with the Chiefs, I'm selling my Ravens stock. I saw a tweet. Someone said, are the Ravens just the Houston Rockets? And that's how I'm looking at them now. They're a regular season team. And until Lamar can drop back and throw 35 passes in a game accurately against good teams, not the Miami Dolphins last year with 64 points, against real good teams, I don't see the Ravens winning anything. I think I think the Steelers are going to win their division. They'll be a playoff team. But that gimmick.
Damn, you way out on them like that.
I seen the same thing for 2 years. The NFL catches up. You're not going to run a different offense and expect different results. That same results happen in the playoffs. Like you said, Lamar has to take the next step. Accuracy doesn't just pop out the blue. You usually see it development stages each year. I don't see it this year. He's not going to just be week 10. Oh, I'm accurate now. I'm really accurate throwing the ball. That's not happening. Now, where you can get better is learn, like you said, against the blitz. He had a terrible time reading the blitz last night. He had no hot reads. I don't know if that's on the OC or Lamar, but he did not get the ball out quick against blitzes. It almost seems like he was just trying to run out the blitz. Well, this is the NFL. Not a quarterback in the NFL does that. So I want to switch to the Chiefs. As we know, I think they're a Super Bowl favorite. Nothing has changed in my opinion on them. I'm not sold on the Ravens. Their defense, if you're going to, it's not creating pass rush. I'm not too sold on the Ravens. Their defense is not what it's supposed to be, and the quarterback is not a threat to throw. Simple as that.
Yeah, the Ravens definitely last night just showed and proved that it's the Chiefs and everybody else is below. That's basically what they showed last night, man. The Chiefs look great. One other thing I would like to say is the Chiefs looked great last night in pass pro. I don't think Pat got touched last night. It was ridiculous. I don't know why the Ravens kept blitzing him and not keeping contained. You got to blitz some guys off the edge, man. Try to keep contained there. Pat was just running out of the blitzes left and right. It was ridiculous.
Spot on. And my last point I want to say with I think there's a lot of Lamar won the MVP last year, and to me this game was just Pat Mahomes and Lamar shouldn't be in the same conversation anymore. That's to me what last night established. He's never beaten the Chiefs, so to me
Not
it's
saying he won't. They had two closer games before.
yeah, but it's a loss, a loss. I don't count close. You lost, you lost. If you
No,
tied,
definitely.
yeah.
Did you
So
see how Andy? Did you see how Andy and Pat kind of picked on Marcus?
that was nice, but it makes sense. That's what the Chiefs
That,
do.
man, that was beautiful. That was a beautiful play design. Just being that it was a 2-man route. You know how hard that is to scheme some shit up with just a 2-man route.
You know what's ironic though? If that was any other corner, that play wouldn't have been there because the corner
I
would.
can name a few that like the clue and jump. I can name a few. Jack Rabbit might have jumped at that. Janoris.
But he's
Who
not
else?
top corner. I'm just talking about like a.
I got you. I got you. I'm just saying, guy. But we know why they did it. He got bad eyes from time to time because my guy looking to take shit to the house. You gotta live and die with it. It is
And
what
for
it
him
is.
as a corner, he has to know.
He got deep third there. He got deep third there. He gotta know. He gotta stay
He
deep.
knows what he had. As soon as the ball was thrown, he knew he was fucked. Took his helmet off. It was on him. I think Marcus. I love his style. Right. I love what he does. I think he needs to learn.
He the type of DB. You know he the type of DB I like that. You know what I'm about, ball hawking. So you know I love how the
Definitely.
boy
But I think
play.
when you're playing, you have to be smart. When you're playing Pat Mahomes, I think there's three
Definitely.
quarterbacks. That you have to have real eyes against because you're not jumping routes against them, right? And there's certain quarterbacks that's just not happening with. I think Pat's one. Now let's go on to one of the next games over the weekend. The Rams Bills, exciting game. Went down to the wire. The Bills snuck away with one at home. How do you view the Bills and Ravens now? Are the Ravens? Excuse me, the Rams and Bills. How do you view them now?
The Rams are a solid team. They're to be respected. But the Bills, man. So I look. I was flipping through the games. You know, I got tickets, so I'm watching multiple games at once. At once, excuse me. And I just remember it was like 28-3, 28-3. And I get on Twitter and I see who is it? Croc. I see Croc on Twitter, and he says, "What the fuck, Bills?" I'm like, I'm in the middle. Right after that, I was in the middle of tweeting, Bills, my dark horse team for the year. They're looking good. Right before I did that, some just told me, "Well, hold on, why did Croc tweet that?" So it made me go look at the ESPN score, and it was a tie. The Rams caught back up. I was like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Oh hell!" And I'm like, "Bills, come on, baby, can't give up 29 in the second half. That's not good. That's not good at all." That's my biggest question mark as far as with them moving forward because they're definitely one of my teams. Josh Allen looks like he may be the second in MVP right now behind Russ. He's
Yeah,
killing it. Who else you got there? A-Rod's the only other person I could think of,
yeah.
and
No,
maybe Pat now.
to me is Russ clear one, A-Rod two, and then I think it's Josh. I think A-Rod what he's doing is credible.
Even for Allen to be there at number 3, that's crazy. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
he is.
As far
He is
as
top three.
progression from the year before, come on, man, he's killing it right now.
Spot
You
on.
feel me? How did you feel about the PI call at the end of the game?
I thought that should have been a no call. Definitely, the contact was weird. But I think when you put that's putting pressure on the defense, one-on-one situations out there. And I wouldn't have called it right, ticky tack. But if you're the Rams, you don't let that lead get that big where you have to come back, right? So I actually had a little different view than most people. I saw this. I like the Bills. Me and you have talked about the Bills a lot. I like them.
Hold on, Zay. Before you talk about how you like the Bills, as far as on that PI, I would have called it if I'm the ref.
I wouldn't have called it because they were locked up together, and he just threw the ball while they're literally together. They were both holding on
So
to each other.
exactly, Zay. I think the way Josh Allen threw the ball, like it was hot now, like he got it out. I think on three step. The way he threw the ball made the ref call that because if you go back and look at the play, he's in there at like 10 yards and the DB still mulling him like he's in his chest. You got to get your hands off past 5. This is the NFL. You got to get your hands off. So I felt like it was a little fighting back and forth, but the way Josh threw the ball, you could say, oh, like the DB is impeding the route or impeding or he's
Yeah, it's
not. You feel me?
by the rule
I
book.
think it was
You can throw
all.
it.
I thought it was all about how Josh threw the ball. You feel me? Just getting it out right now. It put the DB in a bad spot because he still had hands on him past 5 yards.
Yeah, and again, I'm not too hold up on the call like everyone else. I wouldn't have called it. They called it. To me, wasn't a big deal that they did, like you said, because if you go by the rule book, you could call it. And I'm always, in position. If I'm the Rams, we don't get that big of a deficit, so we're not in that position to begin with, right? So we don't, like the coaches say, don't let refs decide the game. Rams don't give up 35 points. I want to just comment on this game. I'm actually more impressed by the Rams in their 3-game stretch than the Bills. And I'm gonna patch this together. The Rams, I think, have played a little tougher schedule. They have a consistent. They're really balanced. Now they gave up a lot of points this game, but the Bills' offense is really good. To me, what's worrisome to be a dark horse like we've been talking about, D-Lane, you have to have a defense, and the Bills have had a pretty good defense the last couple of years. So we just been assuming they have a good defense. The Jets have only scored 2 touchdowns once in a game this season. It was against the Bills. Miami scored 28 points against the Bills. The Rams scored 32 points, their second highest scoring of the year. You're going to have to stop somebody. You're not going to be able to put up 30 points every week, right? You played the Jets, you played Miami, you're able to do that. That's fine. You played the Rams, right? The Rams don't have the best defense. They're an offensive-led team. But you're going to play in Kansas City. I'm not taking a shootout, right? So I'm worried about the Bills long term, strictly because their defense is horrendous. I think their defense is ranked worse than the Raiders, right? And they're not running the ball well. They have a bottom run offense. I think they're 26 in the run game this year, but second in passing. So it's ironic. Everything we think of the Bills in the past is the complete opposite. They're just throwing the ball every play. Josh Allen make it happen. Defense is horrendous. They're not running the ball. It's literally Josh. And to your point, it's the reason he's climbing up that MVP ranking. But I don't think Josh is a good enough quarterback to overcome his defense giving up so many points. You can't let the Jets be the Jets scored the most points this year against you. That's scary.
14 points ain't nothing. It's only
They
2
scored
touchdowns.
17. The Jets are so bad.
I know. I'm
17.
saying two offensive touchdowns. 14. I got you. What I was gonna say
Look how
was
bad the Jets are, though.
the only reason why I I like the Bills coming out this game. If you remember last week, I actually called it a close game because I thought the tail of the tape would actually be opposite as far as the halves. I thought the first half the Bills will actually have a struggle. I think I called it 2017, and the Bills will have a better second half because I said they didn't really play nobody in week 1 and week 2. I felt like the Rams was definitely a better opponent, an offensive-led team, like you said. You see in the first half, they held them to 3 points, so they was definitely doing their job. The Bills have to eliminate explosive plays, and that's how they gave up 29 in the second half, and that just comes from mental lapses, not communicating. You feel me? Line in assignment. You feel me? So, yeah. So I think it's still early in the season. No OTAs, no preseason for the defenses. The defenses have definitely looked a step or two behind so far in these first 3 weeks. I still like them as my dark horse. I'm staying with them.
Yeah, I think they're still good dark horse team. It's ironic that I say this. I think their offense. I'll say this: their passing game is it's what's good this year, but they are not running the ball and they're not playing defense. So let's see when they play some elite teams going forward. They got Seattle on the schedule, they got Kansas City on the schedule, they got San Francisco on the schedule, they got Pittsburgh on the schedule. They even got the Pats. So we're going to see that. Tennessee. They got a hard stretch coming up. So let's see if Josh can pull magic all year long or the defense steps up. We're going to see. Next game I want to talk about was, to me, it was the most exciting game of the weekend, the Cowboys-Seahawks game. I wasn't surprised by what Russ did. I wasn't surprised by the Seahawks winning. But I want to ask you this, D-Lane. Is there a difference between the 2019 Cowboys and the 2020 Cowboys? Have you seen this year?
No, not at all. And I literally have that written down on my notes right here. Cowboys literally look like the same team from a year ago. Defense is trash. They fall behind early. Dak gets a bunch of yards and get garbage time, trying to throw him back into the game. It's the same shit last year. Turnovers, penalties, bad secondary. It's the same story, man.
And what I saw from this game was it. I think Mike McCarthy is he is what he was as his ending his time in Green Bay. All right, it's the offense is vanilla. I don't see motions. I watched that whole game. I think I had it here on the ticket. It was terrible. It was terrible. Like when I watch offenses, I just want to see some type of pre-motion, pre-snap motions. He stayed in a spread majority of the game, right? It was just bad. And you know, for me to see Seattle get a pick off you, their secondary is not good. And they lost almost everyone. Like Jamal Adams was hurt. The injury list was long for Seattle that game on the defense. Now they did score points, but man, everything looks hard, right? And your eyes don't lie to you. When I watch a game and things just look hard every time you take a snap, it's not going to look good for you. And I think you talked about this earlier. Russ would have had 6 touchdown passes if it wasn't for a Seattle error. They were getting blown out the water over the top. Have you ever seen, like, in an NFL game, so many people running wide open downfield?
And man, the Ty Lockett one, the Ty Lockett one, he didn't even get touched. The first one, I think, he didn't get touched.
But it's to me, it's Dallas' fault. You hire Mike McCarthy, and he hires Mike Nolan as DC. Mike Nolan, like he wouldn't have a job this year if it wasn't for Mike McCarthy.
Mike Nolan, man.
Mike hasn't been. Do you know where Mike Nolan was DC last? The Atlanta Falcons. He was a DC on that Super Bowl team. So that's all.
I remember him for his time with the Niners. That's all I can really remember him from. Where they get him from last year? I forgot where they got him from.
He was out the league.
I was just about to say, shit, the way it looked like him and McCarthy was both fresh off the couch.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I lied. Yeah, he was out the league. Mike McCarthy hasn't coached since 2017 with the Saints.
I'm talking about Mike Nolan.
Mike Nolan. I'm sorry, Mike Nolan. And my apologies. He wasn't on that Falcons defense. Up until he was a 2017 linebacker coach for the Saints, a linebackers coach for the San Diego Chargers prior, a defensive coordinator by the Falcons for 3 years. Then he was fired. And then defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins in 2010 for only 1 year. So the man has never even been a good defensive coordinator.
Because every team you just named has.
I would say that's on us, D-Lane. We should have soon as they hired the staff, we should have dug a little harder. Seeing Mike Nolan's resume, how can you have confidence?
Well, our question mark was the coaching because we said the talent is there.
Our question mark was on Mike McCarthy, but we're like, Mike got so much talent on offense. You know, I still looked at this offense. You're going to score 25 plus a game.
I wonder where the guy. I think his name was Rashard. He was with the Seattle LOB regime for a minute, and then he came to Dallas 2-3 seasons ago. I wonder where he's at because I thought he was supposed to take over the defense. I don't know if he's still there. I'm gonna look and see.
He didn't do well last year.
Chris Rashard. I know he didn't do well, but shit, he looked a little better. Well, no, it looked the same. It looks the same as last year.
They look the same. And it's just it's weird because the Cowboys have talent. They have players, but when you have that's Jerry's fault, right? You want to hire your good old boys, the same. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You want to hire the same regular, degular looking white coach that's just average and just.
Oh, you know who would have been nice with them? He an OC right now. Come on, man. With that talent, with oh my God, with Gallup.
Hey, done that, Dak would have broke the bank on him after this year.
But oh my God, with Gallup, Coop, CD, Cedric Wilson killed. Yeah, I was just about to say Cedric Wilson. See, bro,
second or third receiver on some teams right now.
Man, Coop playing like wide receiver 4 right now.
But Coop, if he ain't feeling it, he ain't feeling it.
Man,
I still think the Raiders got to steal for trading him for a first, just because I think we drafted crazy part we drafted Abram with his pick, but man, he's just that's Coop. But we know any Raider fan or person that watched football in the Bay Area when Coop was here, they understand how Coop is. Great talent, shows up when he wants to. He's like a hooper.
Definitely. Yeah,
But
what I took away from that game at the end of the day, man, Russ is playing on another planet right now. He had 5 TDs, should have been 6, no interceptions. The man balling, man. It's that simple.
yeah, we had something like last year. We watched Pat Mahomes, we watched Russ, we watched Aaron Rodgers is killing it, but prime A Rod, that 2014, 2013 A Rod. You just sit back and you witness. Sit back, put your feet up, relax, and witness. I have a question. I forgot what podcast I was into this morning on the way to the gym. They said, in your mind, can you visualize Russ missing a deep throw? I was there. I was like, man, I don't think I've ever witnessed Russ throw an inaccurate deep ball. Like, he might go down in history as the best deep ball thrower as far as accuracy and arm strength. Now, Pat Mahomes has
I
amazing
might
arm.
be, I might be wrong. I think I seen a stat pop up during that game. I think they said since he been in the league, he has the most, and I want to say it was 40 or 49 deep ball touchdowns or something like that. Stat like that I seen pop up.
And I think I like Russ so much because as a Raider fan, he's like everything Carr is not. So he's really, like I said, Pat Mahomes is a great player. Russ is, I say, is my favorite player in NFL. Just I can watch him any day, just because you can give him shit and he gonna make it work.
Definitely.
But yeah, MVP is his to lose right now. There's A Rod, you got Josh Allen. Of course, you always have to respect Pat Mahomes. He can go on for the next 4 weeks. He can throw 5 touchdown passes. We don't know, but yeah, to me, it's Russ to lose right now. Let's Pat, A Rod, or Josh start, doing what he does with less. Now, one game before we dive into the local teams, the 49ers and Raiders. Let's talk about the Packers Saints, the Sunday night game. We saw it was a close game, but the Saints are now 1-2. To me, the Packers looked great. They look, primed to do what they did last year, go deep in the playoffs. A Rod's, putting his name in the MVP hat again. Is Drew done? Because the Saints do not look like they can win a playoffs game right now. What's your thoughts?
Man, stop doing my guy like that, Zay. Drew look cool. Man, to be honest, if you sit back, hold on. Sit back and watch that game. Go ahead.
Drew Brees is the only quarterback out every starting quarterback this season, counting the Broncos' Jeff Driscoll, that has not attempted a pass 35 yards or more downfield. Go ahead.
Thank you. Sitting back and watching this game between Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, it was like watching poetry in motion for quarterback play. 2 OGs getting it done. What are you talking about? Drew's damn near outperformed A-Rod slightly. When you look at the numbers, slightly. And he looked way better than he did the week before and he still doesn't have his main weapon. I love how you threw that stat in there. How many weeks has he had Mike Thomas? Even with Mike Thomas, I was just about to say, even with Mike Thomas, he's not even really over a top guy. So that's not really their offense. Besides the years when they had like Ted Ginn, tell me when they've been really a deep ball hit you over the top team. They always had big body receivers like that or a tight end. Jimmy Graham, they never really.
But they're 1-2.
They finally hit him and Sanders finally connected on one. They're 1-2. They played a solid schedule opening up, and like I said, Mike hasn't been playing his main weapon, who's their passing game. They run their passing game through him. So you got to judge Drew accordingly. I thought he played a hell of a game compared to last week without Mike.
I judge quarterbacks off wins. So he lost the game. He's 1-2. And I don't. The eye in the sky don't lie.
They played better in both. We both projected way different score. I think I called like 40-20 or something.
Yeah, a bigger blowout, and to me, they lost the game. I felt like Green Bay was in control majority of the game, and like I said, the Saints, it's really hard to keep going on 15-play drives, right? And Michael Thomas is going to come back, and that's going to help a lot. But the Saints, the reason we talk to them as a Super Bowl contender is because their defense. They don't have a good defense this year. They're not getting a pass rush. It's not happening. And so to me, for the Saints,
when have we ever considered the Saints a Super Bowl contender because of their defense?
Last year, they had a top defense in NFL. What do you mean? The year before?
Throughout this regime of Drew Brees and Sean Payton, are they not an offensive team at the end of the day? An offensive-minded team first. Their head coach is offensive-minded first.
No, but they've
never been like a top defense as far as in the top 5 in yards or points per game. They always are up there as far as either for run defense or pass defense, not both, and they always are up there for takeaways, which I love. I'm cool with bend but don't break and take the ball away. That's how I like to play defense. But come on, man, stop making it seem like the only time I can think of when they had a stout defense last year was pretty good, but the only other time is when they had the bounty gate shit with damn, who was that linebacker that got
the last 3 years? They on right here on NFL.com. They've had a top 10 defense the last 3 years, and those have been what we thought the Saints' best teams. So, that's what I'm saying. They're balanced. They have to be balanced. Drew is 40 years old.
They've been more balanced as far as throwing because they added Kamara. Because they added Kamara in the last 3 years. But you telling me Kamara doesn't make that offensive minded team that been like that before he came, and Mike before they both came.
What do you mean by offensive? Hold on. What do you mean by offensive?
I'm saying they're an offensive team at the end of the day. They always have been.
But
we never said going into a Super Bowl or going into a playoff run or anything like that, saying, the Saints got action because of their defense.
You're completely wrong on this. If you're talking about the Saints Super Bowl, which was in 2006, 14 years ago, you're 100% correct.
No, it was not 2006.
They won the Super Bowl 2008. Sorry, 12 years ago. 12 years ago.
That wasn't too far back. I think it was like 10 or 9, but go ahead.
In 2008, when the Saints won the Super Bowl against the Colts, right? And it can't be 2010 because they beat the Colts. What do you mean? Peyton Manning was on the Broncos in 2010. So, the last
2010, what are you talking about? 31-17. I just looked it up. I know what I'm talking about.
2009 year. So, 2009-2010 year, their defense was ranked 24th.
And it was like number 1 in takeaways.
Yeah, exactly. That was Super Bowl team. The last 3 years where the Saints were ranked the number 2 seed, number 1 seed, they had a top 10 defense. Know why they had to have a top 10 defense? Because Drew was older and they had to have a more balanced team. We're talking like Drew is 35, 36. He is 40 years old.
And we're talking like he hasn't broke records two of the last three seasons of his own records and completion percentages. Come on, man. He's still balling.
Okay. He's 1-2. 1-2 is not balling him. He lost against the Raiders. Couldn't put up points against the Raiders. I don't want to hear
talking about resume. You're just talking about a short sample size of 3 weeks. And 2 of those weeks he doesn't have his main target.
I live in the now. I don't live what you did in your past. You're 40 years old.
I'm thinking of the now too, and you have to include. If you're living in the now, you would judge him including that their passing game is going with Mike Thomas.
Are they going to win?
You're not judging that.
Are they going to win the NFC South?
I'm going with them over Tampa Bay. I'm going with them over Tampa.
Okay, so they're going to climb back into the division.
I'm rolling Sean Payton and Drew, man.
Okay, I got him as a wild card fighter right now. Just from what I've seen the first 3 weeks, I got him as a wild card fighter. In the next couple weeks,
you talking like Tom Brady? Tom Brady looked crazy crisp or something. Like he looks hella sharp.
No, but they have a better team. Better weapons.
They have a healthy team. They have a healthier team right now, but we'll see.
And we already know the best availability, the best skill you can have is availability. So,
hey, it's a long season, my guy. It's 14 more weeks.
And the Saints, I'll say this. All right, let's just say this: if the Saints lose to Detroit next week, are they still going to win the NFC South? I just want to ask that. Then, if they fall down to 1-3,
does Tom and them lose too, and they go to what 2-2?
Let's see who Tom plays. So let's say Tampa wins. They're 3-1. Okay, yeah. They got the Tampa plays the Chargers with Herbert playing. Yeah,
they play
the Chargers. So let me ask you again: if the Saints lose next week to Detroit and Tampa wins, do you still have the Saints win the NFC South?
I got the Saints winning that game. I can't see. I got the Saints winning that game, Zay.
Okay. I don't.
I got the Saints winning against the Lions, man.
I don't have a. I'll let you know on Friday I'll have winning. I gotta think, but to me that's not an easy pick for me. I can't ignore what I've seen these first 3 weeks. I don't care what you did last year or the year before. I know what I saw these first 3 weeks and against the defenses you played. So regardless of health or not, it's unacceptable for a team that's supposed to be an NFC South contender. They don't look like that at all. The Packers, on the other hand, night and day. I think they're right now they're the best team, second best team in NFC behind the Seahawks. Right now, I think that when the Niners get a little more healthier, they'll be back in that mix. Right now, I think it's a two-horse race in the NFC with Saints and Seahawks. And we're going to shape
In the
into a Super Bowl match.
NFC,
NFC, I think it's Seahawks and Green Bay right now.
Packers. And the
With the
Saints
Niners
just
coming.
played a tight game with Green Bay. And without their main target, you still wanted to say all that about the Saints. I can't believe you, Jay. It's all right, though. We're going to see how it shake out later for my guys.
Hey, D-Lane's not going to want to talk if they lose to the Lions. Whew, here we go. All right, let's talk about the local teams. Let's start with the 49ers. They did what they're supposed to do against the Giants. For me, it was I know Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. I didn't think it was going to be this big of a win. I thought they would win by 10 points, but they did what they were supposed to do. All they need to do is get healthy. My biggest question mark for them right now, like we said before the season, D-Lane, we're looking at them as an NFC, to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl next year, this season. And they got to find a pass rush. I think when they get healthy, their offense will be fine, but their defense is what made them the 49ers and the number one seed in the NFC last year. So they got to find a way to get a pass rush. Bosa's out, D4's out for a long time, so they got Eric Armstead, and we're gonna see where it goes from there. I didn't learn anything new about the Niners this week other than Kyle's a good coach, and it's time to get healthy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, same with me. Kyle's a good ass coach, man. He showed why he's elite really the last 2 weeks, and mainly because of how they beat the Giants. They did what they were supposed to do. I always got to tip my cap to a team that beats down an inferior team because they're doing the job, doing what they're supposed to do. Another thing I will take away and say is Mullins looked real good. He looked real good throwing the ball.
Yeah, the Niners have a really good backup quarterback in Mullins. I seen on Twitter, like, they're talking about quarterback controversy. I said, for him playing the Giants, but I don't see that at all. I think he did his job. I think they have a really good backup quarterback, and you want your backup quarterback to be able to win 1 or 2 games for you if they have to. He did his job. I just look at him as a really good backup quarterback. Could he start on a loaded Niner team and win them 3 games? If they had to, I think he could. So I think he's a really good backup. I don't want to hear any more of that controversy.
The only negative the Niners might take away from this game is Reed getting hurt. But I think they're getting Kittle back next week.
Oh, yeah, they get Kittle back. And I just want to say there's one thing about the injuries with the 49ers. And I was trying to think, like, there's been a lot of injuries now. Like, the Raiders are depleted, Eagles, Chargers, the list is going on. I mean, Cowboys' whole O-line is hurt right now. Seahawks' whole defense is hurt. So a lot of teams are getting beat up. But I went through a lot of 49ers, just their key players, and almost every one of them has had a major injury before they came to NFL. So I think, and when we were talking about the Niners coaching staff, Bosa, he's had a major injury before. Reed has had multiple major injuries before. I looked at also their safety, Tart. Tart has had major injuries before. Jimmy has had major injuries and couldn't stay healthy in New England. So to me, you have so many players on your roster with large injury history of major injuries. You got to take a step back.
Jimmy who?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay, go ahead.
Out for the year with the Patriots. Remember, Tom was suspended. He got hurt in that game. He got obviously ACL when he got with the Niners. Now he's hurt again. So to me, Jimmy's a player that gets hurt a lot. That's what the record shows, right? So I think just going forward, the Niners to make a real effort, obviously in the drafting, bringing in players that don't have long injury history. Now Reed, right? That's a special deal there. He's been hurt a lot, and they need a tight end, so that's something to monitor. Real quick, I want to talk about the Niners next week going to play the Eagles. I want your unbiased opinion. Do the Niners get a win if Jimmy's healthy?
I don't know, my guy. Our backs is against the wall, man.
I think it's. This is a trap game, I think, for the Niners to me.
Yeah, I see us fighting, man. I see us fighting out the hole. We don't get there. I already feel like calling it over for the season because losing time to the damn Bengals, I think is just as bad, if not worse.
The NFC East, it ain't over. It's
taking a loss. But I think it's just as bad as taking a loss. But you're definitely right. It's the trash ass NFC East. I can see us winning it at 8-7-1, some shit like that. But man, I got my team, man. even with all the injuries, and like I said to the Niner fans, I don't want to hear no excuses because we both got the same amount of injuries. I think my team got the most, if not the worst, out of all teams in the league. That's me being biased, but I just know we got a plethora of injuries, and I think it's an even matchup with Garoppolo and Nara. I think it's an even matchup still at the end of the day. I got my team. I can see one of those 28-24 type ball games.
I think if that's why I consider it a trap game. Niners, I think, are better on paper. But to me, it's no. I think Doug Peterson is a top coach in this league. He's shown it. And I've seen some of the problems with Carson Wentz are saying they're trying to get the ball out of his hand quicker, and it's not happening. I think what makes Carson Wentz such a great player is his ability to play make, and he wants to do that. He has less weapons. He just wants to be a playmaker.
Doug got to get him on the move more.
To your point, if the Eagles lose this game, people are getting fired. This is one of those games where I'm not saying it's the head coach. I'm not saying it's GM. I'm not saying Carson's getting traded. It's going to be one of those, the DB coaches got fired. Like, somebody's getting fired if they lose
Nah,
the
that's just as knee jerk of a reaction as starting because I'm seeing reports of starting Hurts over Wentz. Can't do that, man.
No, it's not.
We got. Yeah.
If you're on forward, like I said, someone's getting fired. It's going to be. You have to let them know this is the standard. I saw a stat that said, I guess, at least one staff member gets fired if a team starts 0-5. Right? You have to. It doesn't matter who it is. I think it's going to be a smaller level guy. And that being said, I think that's why the Eagles play with their hair on fire this game and sneak away with the win. And again, Jimmy's not going to be 100%. If he does come back, I know they get Kittle back this week.
Our pass rush didn't look too bad at all last week. I think we had 8 sacks.
That's a positive. And the Niners don't have the same pass rush as they do. So now, again, everyone's getting a pass rush against the Eagles this year, so not saying as much. But I just think the Eagles, they get one of those wins based off heart. And Doug has 3 games of the Niners defense to study and find ways to attack. So I think this is a game that's on the line for the Eagles. Let's dive next into the last game and one of the local teams, Raiders versus Pats. A tough week for the Raiders. Patriots defense dominated, particularly in the secondary. I think they only had 1 sack. The D-line didn't do too much, and the run game was there. What a blanket. Gilmore took away all the receivers. Raiders lost another receiver that game. Brian Edwards will be out for a while, I believe, with an ankle injury. He had, I think, another 40-yard game, hurt the second quarter. My big thing, if anyone follows me on Twitter, I took away from this game Carr. I watched a little bit of the NFL All-22 this morning. There's a lot of big plays left out there. Gruden commented that they did have Waller open. And something I noticed, they would double Waller before the play, and he would break open. And I think Bill Belichick knows Carr. Carr was, it's not there pre-snap. I'm not even going to look towards Waller's way. And, man, Waller started to look frustrated. He was clapping his hands together like, I'm fucking open, bro. And that's on Carr. That's definitely on Carr. There was a couple play action plays. Now, we didn't play action much. I think that's on Gruden. That they left out there as well. So this game
What did I say, Zay? Zay, what did I say last week? What did I say? What did I say Bill's going to do to the Raiders and Derek Carr?
And that's what happened. I thought the Raiders, they were running the ball well. Their defense played amazing the first quarter. And the ironic part about this is the Patriots couldn't pass. They couldn't do shit. They just literally, it was like a high school game. Ran all up and down the fucking field. Everywhere. Now,
he's averaging 6 a pop. Shit, I will run the ball too.
You don't have to throw. Why would you? It's dumb. There's only one bright spot I could take from this game if you're a Raiders fan. Mullins was thrown at 6 times, gave him 1 catch. So that's my one positive. Jacobs is healthy, and that's all I got. Go ahead, Dan.
Name me a receiver outside of Julian Edelman on the Pats. You better be able to name another one. That's all I was about to say.
Jacoby Myers. And they also brought up a guy from Southern Miss named Patton who had a reverse for 20 yards during that game.
Demarius Bird. They got a little Bird, too.
Yeah, number 10, he's a punt returner. He's not a receiver. He's a special teamer.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, Bill did exactly what I told you to do. Put the game in Derek Carr's hands at the end of the day and see if Carr can make the throws. He didn't. I told you he'd double team Darren Waller. They got frustrated. Derek Carr, he's a one read guy. He looked that way, like you said. Didn't look back. It shook out how I thought it would shake out. The Raiders gifted the pass with 3 turnovers. You can't do that. Can't do that against Bill. You can't
Now,
make
one of them
mistakes.
was controversial with Jacobs. That was the weirdest shit I've seen this year, but it's the Patriots, so.
Yeah, you know how that go.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but hey, put it on the ground.
I seen Seawood tweet that got y'all again. But you can't. Yeah, you just know you cannot put the ball on the ground against the Pats. You can't give them more opportunities. And then the Raiders' run D is just piss poor, man. And the tackling is horrendous.
I think you summed it up. Yeah, Renfro looked nice at receiver, like I said, but you can't be your number one and expect to compete. Nelson Aguilar had a couple plays. But let's go on to next week. We play the Bills. I don't see ironically the Bills they pass well, so we're not playing a dominant run team, like traditionally how the Bills have been. But I don't think the Raiders have enough firepower. Their offense to me is exactly what it was last year. Ruggs will be out again for a long time. Brian Edwards will be out again. I did a tweet of how horrendous all our new player additions have been. Ruggs, Edwards, and Arnett are hurt and will be out for a while. Littleton is the worst starter linebacker in the league. Run great. He's the worst defender in the league starting right now. Nick Kowalski, I think he might come back this week, so that's a positive. But he only played 22 snaps this year. As well as Tanner Moose, our third-round pick, is healthy, but not healthy scratch. And our other third-round pick obviously was traded to Miami. So right now, going into the Bills, the Raiders will have no new additions that can contribute. So it's pretty much the same team as last year. So I look at the Bills game. If we don't score fast, it will be a blowout because Josh Allen is not fucking around this year at all. He's not. He's going to light your ass up, and he's hard to sack. We can't get sacks as it is. Matt Crosby had 2, so it might be a positive. You can sack Cam twice, maybe you can sack Josh Allen, but Josh Allen is throwing defenders on the ground left and right. So we'll see. Next week, I think if the Raiders don't score fast next week, it'll be a bigger blowout than the Patriots this week. That's my cap.
Yeah, the Bills. I see it being an even game. Like I feel like these guys can. I think the Raiders can still make something happen. I definitely think they got to jump out early. I'm gonna save my prediction for later in the week just so I can see the injury report and see how some shit shake out. But as far as with the Raiders, I did want to ask you, what's up with Gunther, man? Is it his system? Because at the end of the day, it's in year 2 for Jonathan Abrams. He still doesn't know how to pick his fucking head up. So the tackling is horrible. Are you coaching it up? Or are you just letting the shit happen? Like, what's going on? You feel me? Because this shit is ridiculous. And the run D, come on, at the end of the day, that's just discipline run gaps. Being sound in your run gaps. Are you teaching it or are you letting the shit happen? Like, what's going on? Shit doesn't look. Is this year 2 or year 3 for him? Because nothing looks different every year with him and with his defense. It's the same problem.
I'm glad you brought that question up, D-Lane. And for me, it's real simple.
And he wasn't that elite in Cincinnati anyway. It was really Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis was the defensive head over there.
So Paul Gunther took over as a DC after Mike Zimmer. As we know, Mike Zimmer was good DC, the Bengals, and their DC when they were making the playoffs a lot. Losing one and done, but a playoff team, dominant defense with Burfict, all those boys. Paul Gunther got his shot. The defense, maintained pretty well.
They had a few of them pieces left.
Right,
yeah, they had a few of them.
So I noticed there's 2 type of coaches in the NFL, and this goes for offense as well. You have coaches who you give a nice card to, and they can make that card do whatever it wants. Amazing, scheme them up, do whatever it wants. Then you have coaches you give a bucket to, and they can put that piece together and make it do whatever you want. Then you have coaches who can only do what you give them. I think Paul Gunther is an average to above average defensive play caller. I think he is a horrendous. I don't have enough vocab. What's worse than horrendous as at developing talent? There's not been a single player to get better during our time with the Raiders with Paul Gunther there. I need to see some player develop. Mad Max, he came in 10 sacks. That's no development. That's good job, Mike Mayock, finding him. So Paul, if it doesn't turn around, I want him fired. Simple. It's terrible.
Is this year 2 or 3 for him, Zay?
Huh?
Is this year 2 or 3 for him?
It's year 3 with John.
Yeah.
And to me, for John, I said this too. And I want to just make clear: if John doesn't go at least 8-8, again, and win against some playoff teams, he's on the hot seat next year, right? Because obviously, he's gonna switch Carr out, and that's.
I feel like he's good till he gets at least one year with his quarterback.
Okay,
with his guy. I think he at least a year or 2 with his guy. Because we know if he doesn't do nothing, like I don't even think 8-8. I think they need to go like 9-7, 10-6, and get a playoff spot with Derek Carr for Gruden to like move forward with that guy. Other than that, if they don't get in the playoffs and be like something like that, I'm cool. I said this:
Carr has to win a playoff game this year to be the quarterback next year. Has to win.
You know, there ain't no bye week for the 2 seed, so they might get stuck with some stiff competition. You know, Baltimore, some teams over there.
But we know what Carr is. We know Carr. I know what Carr is going to do. Carr is. There's a group of B-level quarterbacks in NFL. Carr is the worst B-level quarterback in NFL. Simple as that. And it's like he don't want to make plays, man. How can
Damn,
you so timid?
You just sounded so hurt as a Raider fan right there when you said that.
Because I've seen him. Literally, he broke his leg 2016, and I look at 2016 season different now. I look at it as we had the
blip on the radar. It was a blip.
It was a blip, yeah. Kind of like Matt Ryan, Super Bowl season. Blip. Right pieces, right time. NFL, sometimes things just gel. You get lucky, right? We seen the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC Championship. And boy,
just a couple seasons ago.
10 years ago. That was 3. Right? So teams got
they blow that team up.
Yeah, in 2000, I think it was 2009, 2010, the Browns won 10, 11 games, made the playoffs, right? With a fucking
Peyton Hillis. Hillis.
Exactly.
The leading rusher for him. Going crazy.
I'm done with Carr. I think Carr would look.
Was that Jason Campbell at quarterback, or was that Derek Anderson? I think that was Jason
Anderson.
Campbell.
It was Derek Anderson. Brian Edwards balled out for a year, Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm my Carr stock is sold. I'm done with him. I just know what he is.
So you out on your quarterback, huh?
Yeah. Again, I want us to make the playoffs, and I think Carr, he's gonna have some game. It could be next game, right? We play the Bills, right? And look, on paper, let's not even on paper. If you say, hey, Bills defense to the average fan, it's probably top 5. That is not the case this year. They're terrible. So let's just say Carr lights them up. Oh yeah, he's bad. It was just a weird East Coast game against the Pats. No. The Bills defense isn't good. That's why we lit him up. Not because, you know what I mean? So I'm just tired of the excuses, and I'm done with it. I've seen what I got to see out of Carr. And when I see other quarterbacks play that are B levels, like Dak Prescott, to me, he's a B level quarterback, but he's a playmaker. He makes shit happen. If you're going to be a B level quarterback, you have to be a playmaker, or you need to be the Alex Smith. I don't make mistakes, and I'm mobile, right? What is I'm leaving with this? What is Carr really good at? Outside of, again, pre-snap, I think it's his strength. Get the ball in his hand quick. Outside of pre-snap, what is Carr good at?
Check down Charlie.
Man, that's not we could get anybody could do that. So, all right, man, that's all I got. As you know, every Friday 2:30 IG Live, we come with all our picks. Come join us, talk football. We answer all questions. Every Friday at 2:30. You got anything else for us, D-Lane?
Nope, that was everything. Follow us on Twitter at the 510H and on Instagram at the 510 Huddle. Get all your information right there. 2:30 every Friday. Get our predictions for week 4.
Yes, sir.
Still went for it. It's time to change the club.